following program is intended for mature audiences.
It's the music, movies, and shows you love.
As if we care.
And hate.
You ain't gonna like it none.
And love to hate.
I didn't expect that at all.
This is The Broken Remote.
And coming to you live on tape on this Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. It is the day after the colossal bombing of the Star Wars universe by Kathleen Kennedy and the Disney Collective. People are up in arms everywhere.
If you think what the Death Star did to Andor was bad, then just wait. Alderaan, what the fuck its name is.
Oh, man. It
you
is.
have no idea.
It's pretty impressive. Look, if you've listened to any of this show over history, you know that we spend a good portion of our time on Disney products because they're just, they're literally garbage.
Yeah. As I mentioned before, we both had issues losing our virginity in high school, so we focused this quite a bit. And, yeah.
Well, yeah, I did. It was late. I wish I had lost it a lot earlier. Yeah, for sure.
I'll admit, I'm not cool like you other cats. But here I am. Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't matter because there are legions and legions of fans who grew up on this IP that, I don't know, it provided a lot of enjoyment for a lot of people.
You're gonna have to expand because we're gonna go into specifically the Acolyte soon, the newest in the line of famous Star Wars shows coming out. But dude, this has been every franchise recently. They've just been.
It's been every one. Indiana Jones, we did that one. Marvel, we've done that historically. I think we started off with Star Wars. Our very first episode was on Star Wars.
It was the Rey ones. It was the new ones that no one liked.
Yeah,
everyone got bored of.
But it's just continued. Look, there's been pockets of okay production, right? Andor, Rogue One.
Andor was good.
Right.
Rogue One, I haven't seen in a while. I really think it's just the ending of Andor that I like so much. The more I look back on it.
No, when Andor's on, I can watch it. There are definitely parts I don't like.
Rogue One, you mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah. What was I saying?
Yeah. Andor, I thought was solid throughout.
Oh, Andor, yeah. And Rogue One to complement it, I thought was.
Boba Fett. No, not Boba Fett. Damn it. Mandalorians.
Mandalorian, season 1 and 2, I thought were good, right? I think
those are solid.
The apex of Mandalorian was probably the Luke scene, right? Because you had not seen him in, 30 years?
First episode was good. Before, ironically, the bane of that show is Baby Yoda.
Yeah, for sure.
It could have been such a cool, every episode he's somewhere new and he's doing something, because that's the whole point. And we're going to get that in a second here. I'm going to take. Let me just veer. Let's get the break meme on or something like that.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, I'm just going to say, I also watched Godzilla -1 last night.
Okay. I have watched it too. I was in and out of sleepiness because I took a gummy thinking it would help the experience. But
I almost did the same thing, but I was like, you know what? For this movie, I've heard good things. I thought it was solid, but my main point, and I will say, very good movie. Definitely give it a watch. It's on Netflix, so it's free. It is 2 hours, but for a Godzilla movie, dude, it's fucking awesome.
Godzilla in the water was cool as shit.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Incredible. I thought he looked cooler in the beginning of the movie than after when he gets radiatized. They make him look like
right.
Godzilla. My girlfriend started laughing at him because he's like, "Why are his arms so small?" Like, just shut up, let me have
this. It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's the same argument as T-Rex.
Yeah, dude.
Which made for great lines in Step Brothers. Come on, you just got to go with it.
They're playing like the original, like bum 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 bum, which is that is the soundtrack of 4-year-old Will. just when me and my friend Vinny would listen to that like every day. We would watch Godzilla movies every day after preschool because those are corny as hell.
Wow, they must have been. I mean, because of our age difference, and I remember Godzilla in my youth being
was the
kind
oldest,
of like
dude.
ancient. It
They
must have
were
been
like-
really ancient for you.
It was, listen, when you're 4 years old and there's a monster movie going on and you're like, oh, the human characters are talking again, and I'm here to see Godzilla punch a three-headed dinosaur. Or
Right.
something like that.
Right. Well, and it was they were always on syndication too. You know,
Yeah,
the old ancient Japanese ones.
But that movie is exploring, which is, once again, it's a Godzilla movie, and I know they have like the giant $200 million budget Godzilla movies that are coming out that are apparently just cranking cash out for Universal or something now.
Yes, I still have not seen Godzilla versus
I see them
Kong.
when they're on Max. That's when I watch them.
Right, exactly.
But like this one, dude, is exploring like post World War II Japan and like themes of like a kamikaze pilot with survivor's guilt and shit.
Yes, yeah.
This movie cost, and this is the main point I wanted to get to, which we were texting about earlier.
Yeah.
Like
Go ahead.
It cost $15 million to make.
That's it.
Like, which is the crazy part. That's insane.
Yeah.
Compared to everything else, dude. Every week we're talking about a product that is like $100 million at minimum, dude.
They did it on a tenth of the cost.
Madam Web was $100 million.
Yeah, how fucking crazy is that?
Was so ass.
And there was nothing in that movie that you looked at and you were like, "Oh my god, this fucking SFX is just phenomenal." Or SFX is sound, but I guess both.
And like some of the, like, I mean, maybe the actors weren't as expensive, and like maybe like the sets weren't as like, but they had like some of those boat scenes, and Godzilla did look awesome in the water when he's chasing that boat.
Yeah, dude.
And like the atomic breath, which is like a nuclear bomb when he sets that off. You see
Right.
That was, I do, the 4-year-old in me. My girlfriend was talking at the time. I was like, shut up, let me have this.
Shut your yappa.
Yeah, I need this. You don't understand. This swings me back.
Could have
When I
broken
hold
up
it
into like old 50s talk and be like, listen to me, you broad. You got to shut your trap.
Listen here, darling. You got to understand here. Right? See? Yeah. But
Go into the kitchen and get me a brew.
Yeah, I never said that. She listens to this. God help me.
No.
But
things were just things were funnier back in the 50s and the 40s.
Exactly. Yeah. Back in the day, yeah, you could hit a person. No one would mind.
Yeah, not more acceptable, but definitely more funny.
Dude, but like this was 15 million and explored all these like complicated adult themes. It felt like Godzilla had grown up. Like I was 4 years old and watched Godzilla just like slap a dinosaur around, and I'd be like, he won, he's swimming away to save the day. And now this time it's like exploring real Star Wars, dude.
Oh, holy shit.
But
Here we go.
The new one.
Content police coming through.
The Acolyte cost $180 million, dude, for this season.
For what?
Where the fuck did it go?
I can't figure it out.
Dude.
Because, I mean, it's got to just be completely inept management to okay any of this.
Yes. Did they get Enron's accounting department to do this? Is Arthur Anderson the ones that are managing the fucking books for Disney now? This is
Wouldn't it be
ridiculous.
funny if there was a theft underneath all of it?
Dude, Jeff Skilling is working with Lucasfilms right. These are some deep cut references. Someone's gonna have to look up Wikipedia for these. But
it's like when they audited the Pentagon and they were just like, "Yeah, we're missing like $3 trillion."
Dude, it's just,
what? You're missing $3 trillion? Yes, we lost it somewhere. I don't know where.
So you have a CPA? No, my initials are CPA. Carl Patrick Anderson. I think that's good enough. Yeah, you're hired.
We misunderstood that when we hired your firm.
Yeah. So you're saying $70 million just disappeared from the set of this movie? Yes. And you're saying that the showrunner bought 2 beach homes for $35 million each? Yes.
That makes sense.
No one. Who knows? Could have been anywhere.
Well,
what is her name again?
Who? May and OSHA?
No, the Acolyte showrunner. What's her name?
Oh, I don't know her. I just know Kathleen Kennedy. Because...
Leslie Headland. She, who once, and I have to keep saying this, was the assistant to Harvey Weinstein.
Was she really?
Yes. During like his worst years.
Yeah, very much so.
She's like, I didn't know anything about it. Sure. Got it.
Holy shit, I did not know that.
Yeah, dude. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, how does anybody affiliated with Weinstein continue on? Now, I know that would
don't know,
right?
dude.
Like I know that
it doesn't make any sense.
like the tentacles of him go everywhere. No pun intended, but like Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Kevin Smith,
Meryl Streep
everything
gave him, like,
Miramax.
She gave him like an audible blowjob, like when she's like, and I would like to thank God or Harvey Weinstein for this Oscar I won. And you're like, that aged very poorly, like literally a year or two later.
It really is amazing that so many people attached to him have been able to continue on.
Dude.
Like, unabated.
Like,
and like people don't call him out. Like, look, I liked Kevin Smith. I don't like any of his new stuff. I mean, I think he tries, and I don't know. It lacks the bite. I don't know if it's because he's just lost the funny, or he's become more whatever it is. But
probably both.
I mean,
probably you just age with time. You lose that original bite.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But he was Miramax through and through.
Yeah.
And he never gets called out on it. Now he might have, and he might have explained it on a Smodcast or in an article. I don't know, but it's like that's somebody I think that you would hear about for decades, being like, oh yeah, like
to give them some defense, which is crazy. Like they were the assistant; they weren't Harvey Weinstein. It's not like she was like literally just putting oil on these women that were like, "Hey, I'd like to be in a movie." And Leslie Headland was coming out like, "Well, first, here's the baby oil. I'm going to apply this to you, and then you're going to walk into Mr. Weinstein's office, and I'm going to, handcuff you to his desk." Like that's a very extreme example, but it's not like that was happening. I hope.
So you're saying she's not like that SNL, the SNL secretary? Have you seen the SNL, the 50s SNL secretary skit? No, and she goes over the top, and I forget who it is. I want to say it's Kristen Wiig. It
feels like a Kristen Wiig thing.
Yeah. And she's like, she's overdoing it for her boss, and then eventually she falls through the desk and breaks the desk. I'll find it and I'll send it to you, but. She's like, oh, hi, Mr. Whatever. She's always typing away and answering phones. Oh, can I get you this? And she always overdoes it. Anyway, she's not, this showrunner wasn't her. But everybody in America.
Wait, let's just, allegedly wasn't.
Allegedly, right.
Allegedly wasn't.
But from what my understanding is now, is that everybody in Hollywood knew about this. So the closer you get to Weinstein, the more you're going to fucking know.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't imagine she was walking to work I got to put my special prescription on, and it's just horse blinders every single day when she goes into work.
I'm picturing the horse blinders on her walking into work.
He's like, hey, Leslie, can you do me a favor? Like, what? Sorry, I can only see literally right in front of me, so you're gonna have to be much more specific.
That'd be an awesome thing to put into a TVMA cartoon, a South Park. South Park character that only wore his blinders.
I'll let South Park use that bit. Saturday Night Live.
It's a good fucking bit. I give you a little fucking applause.
That's going to be in our it's going to be in our Melissa McCarthy movie when we finally get that project. Let's talk to Kathleen Kennedy. Maybe we get our own show as long as the main character's gay. I mean, hey, it's apparently all you need, dude.
So I mean, 15 minutes in, I don't know how do you want to start it. Because where's the money go? More. The comparison to Godzilla -1 to this, for sure. One cost 15, one cost 150. One looks like it's really well done.
180.
The other one,
I'm sure, was skimmed off the top.
Yeah, I was just trying to make it one for one.
Let's just go into the plot synopsis of the first 2 episodes, I guess, and then episode 3. I'm so excited. So I skimmed via YouTube the first 2 episodes, full disclosure, but 3, I'd heard a rumor about what the plot was, so I had to watch it, and it's everything I hoped for, honestly, in just terms of just the sheer, ludicrousness of who's writing this show.
Completely agree.
It, We need to talk about the Immaculate Conception. We need to talk about it.
Think about that for a hot second because I want to read something. So there was an article from Forbes today that I sent to.
She was in the Amazon rainforest.
No. I just want to hammer home and put a nail in the coffin of the cost. So there's an article I sent to Will, via text from Forbes, and Forbes. The article was something to the effect of, like, this is the worst thing that Star Wars has ever created. And it's worth a read. I think they printed it today. And I'll give you the name of it after I
thought we were salty.
But, I mean, this is from Forbes, and I this is exactly what we said. So here it's from Forbes. So you don't know who these two fucking schmoes are on this podcast? All right, well, here's Forbes. Somebody else gets paid for this exact same opinion.
Up on this.
This show has something like $180 million for its budget, and I cannot, for the life of me, tell where any of it's gone. Every world feels small. Every set feels claustrophobic. There is no sense of scale or variety. It's all so relentlessly generic. But hey, lightsabers.
I mean,
you
kind of nailed it there, dude. Like,
our point, just said by some kind of established medium.
You said this to me, or the article said this. I think it was you. That was just like it wants to be Andor, but it's not. Is how it kind of like came off a little bit.
Well, that's how they were billing it. They were billing it as its own new, unique mystery. Blah blah blah. Everybody saw Carrie-Anne Moss, Kate-Anne Moss.
But it's not a mystery because they literally solve it in the first episode.
There is no mystery. I guess the mystery is.
Let's go on the plot, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of just kind of the production thing because it is.
We'll get more into it. Obviously,
you watch other things and you just are left scratching your head, just saying, "What the fuck happened with the show?" And
dude.
I guess everything nowadays just costs more money, right? I mean, whether you're ordering a fucking roast beef sandwich or a fucking Star Wars show.
Bad, dude. Inflation isn't $80 million. Where the fuck did this go bad?
Yes, that's just
sheer
idiocy.
I like the guy from Squid Games. Just quick sidebar because I read this and I feel really bad from this. If this is true, he apparently learned English because he got offered the role and he loves Qui-Gon Jinn. And he's like, oh, my God, I can be like Qui-Gon Jinn. I have to take this part. Now, granted, I'm sure he's famous now. He's in Squid Games. He's going to get a bunch more fucking English roles. But, if that's true, dude, bro, I'm sorry. Fucking waste of talent.
I'll drill home on that when we get to it. But, I mean, real quick, we did have this one sound clip of an answer from Kathleen Kennedy when asked, what were you thinking when you approved the $180 million budget for this show? And this was her response. I mean, it says it all right there.
I'm going to be honest. I thought you were going to do the Cartman one that was like, put a chicken in and make her gay.
No, I don't have it. I don't have it saved yet. But I will. I mean, I've got to update a lot of these sound bites and drops because I mean they're just ones that I had established for years and years back, and I haven't got to update it. That would have been good, but
that one would have
been really good. So anyway, but okay. So back to the plot synopsis.
The plot, right? Which you can call it. Yeah.
So. Basically the Acolyte was set up to be I thought it was going to be like TVMA, the way that they were billing it originally.
They were billing it it was going to be like a mature Star Wars show that was around a mystery. And so the show, and I'll just spoil this whoever watches it, because let's just go right into it. They put Carrie-Anne Moss in all the billing for this show. She's Trinity from The Matrix, for those who don't know. That's that actress. So she's billed on all the advertisement as being this really powerful female Jedi. She's on all the posters. She's on the fucking Disney Plus ad. She's on everything you see.
She did press. She did the whole tour. Press.
She isn't. And now, granted, they did a flashback in episode 3, so maybe she'll be in more of it. She dies in, I think. Okay, but that'd be cooler if she died that way.
True.
She dies in quite literally the first 10 minutes of the show.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't see it coming.
I mean, I'll give them that.
I mean,
you gave Carrie-Anne Moss how much money to die this quick? Maybe that's where part of the $180 million went. It has to be, right? Maybe that's where a couple mil.
Well, all right. Tell me what you think about this idea. Now, number one, that did you ever see Deep Blue Sea?
Which one's that?
Shark movie.
sounds-
They're injecting the shark brains with some kind of serum that makes them smarter, and then they're smart sharks.
Blue Sea. No,
Deep Blue
what
Sea.
the
Anyway,
fuck?
Thomas Jane is in it. LL Cool J's in it. Samuel L. Jackson's in it.
Samuel Jackson's in it?
And the reason that I plug Samuel L. Jackson
I
is
have
because
heard of this before.
Samuel L. Jackson's in it. He might have like 10 minutes of actual screen time. Halfway through the movie,
he's
he
on
gives
all
his
the-
he gives his big speech, and
I
he was
ha-
like,
yes, I
"We're
have seen
not
this.
gonna die down here." Fucking shark
Dies
jumps up,
immediately.
fucking bites him, eats him, and Samuel L. Jackson's gone. Didn't see it coming at all because I thought he was going to be in the movie more because they build them all. Same thing with Carrie Ann Moss, except this one they didn't even give it like an hour. They knocked her off in 10 minutes. It was
Dude,
unbelievable.
They give a whole speech later in the episode that I saw that it's about you cannot kill a Jedi with a blade nor a laser. And meanwhile, like you're like, were you there 40 minutes
Blazer
ago?
or Blazer or
This is of course you remember my fitness consigliatory Michelle.
Michelle. Movie still holds up. Still
Blaze.
good.
Blade. Blazer.
And what?
And the most deadly woman in the world.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
called Franz Lincoln.
Yeah, what the hell was her? What was her name?
Let me look it up. I mean, but still, dude.
Yeah, but regardless, yeah. So you know, she gets killed off in the most pathetic way possible that like
that's
a child
large
could
name.
script.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that name out loud. That is very long.
Yeah, he says it, and he's like, Galushkovich. You're the one that stares at me?
Franz Stolovakolovich Davidovsky. That almost is what it is, apparently.
And she sees the talker. You're the one that stares
You're
at
the
me.
one who stares at me. Why is this?
And I don't know who that actress is, but I thought somebody said that like when they removed the fake teeth and all the other stuff, she wasn't that bad looking, which would be amazing, because she really is awful. But at least in the movie that is. Yeah. So Carrie Ann Moss gets wiped out, and she gets wiped out
Basically.
by the whole like, oh, look over here, and I got you here. Like it was just so dumb.
It was so dumb. It was. I mean, let's also just get into the next part. It's like the whole show, like, I guess the crux of it is at first they're like, who's killing these Jedi? And it's this one girl, but then you see her at another point, like the same girl, and you're like, oh, is she like secret identity, or is she like dual personalities? What's kind of going on? And before you can really let that mystery sink in, because that's what they're like building the show up, is to be a mystery, they basically immediately tell you, no, they're twin sisters. We're doing the Luke and Leia thing this time, except almost identically, by the way, is what they're doing. It's the Luke and Leia thing, it turns out later on.
I mean,
Yeah.
conceived from the Force, the whole fucking nine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, which we're going to get into in a second. But like,
Don't wanna jump ahead.
that's my favorite. It's my favorite part, dude. But it's like one is an evil person with the Force, and one is a good person with the Force, and the Jedi are essentially like corrupt cops or something.
Oh my God.
It's like this idea, like it's the most. Like I know smarter people have tried to toy with the idea of like, well, maybe Jedi weren't as like the pure paragons of goodness that you thought they were.
Right.
And like they've tried to do it to like some varying degrees of success, or like, you know, they were so inactive when they were, that's how they lost. Whatever. I'm not getting into that. But like this one is just so nose in the head of like, are the Jedi the good guys, or are they kind of the bad guys?
Maybe you don't know. Because here they are confessing to their ills as they all die.
Yeah.
You know, the one guy who floats, and they start killing off Jedi. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. But,
Yeah. We're getting, well, which, yeah. I'll stop for now. But yeah, we're gonna get into that in a second.
But yeah, like so. All right, right out of the gate. Here's the things that I did not know. Right, I did not know Carrie Ann Moss was going to get killed off in the first 10 minutes.
Instantly, yeah.
I did not know that the whole show was going to revolve around basically like two twin 18 to 20-year-old Jedis.
Yeah. Classic.
Who like aren't that great an actress, I guess. Actress.
It's one actress, right? I'm assuming it's one actress just playing as twins.
I don't know. I would imagine it is on both sides, because I mean, are they going to go out and try to find? They're going to try to find actresses twin actresses for both age groups, because they do a flashback and then they have to find.
People hate this show. I love it.
Oh yeah. Well, if you looked, it's been cataloged everywhere. More so than The Last Jedi. The Rotten Tomato critic score is in the 90s, 89 to 91. I don't know where it is. The audience score has now dropped below 30 and is at 28.
Yeah, Amandala Stensberg. Oh, is she one of the tribe? I have to look this up. Oh, God.
I have no clue. But they knock off Carrie Ann Moss in the beginning. And she gets stabbed because, the girl, maybe Jedi, not quite sure, but we know she's the bad guy. She throws a dart at an innocent bystander, bartender, alien guy who's just standing there protecting his kid. And so she's like, oh, I'm going to distract you because you're going to focus on saving him. And then I'm going to throw the other dart right in your heart.
Yeah.
And, for some reason, Carrie Ann Moss can't stop two things at once. Even though Kylo Ren was able to stop an entire laser blast and freeze whatever Poe Dameron all at once.
She's just that good with the Force. And the other sister is just boring. She's just basically Rey again.
Yes, it is Rey again.
It's just
Amen.
Rey again, but Rey with an evil twin sister. So it's quite literally a fan fiction I would have read about Star Wars when I was 10. Twins. One's an evil twin. Like, it's literally out of middle school, dude.
Well, the writing for it is terrible, and
The writing for it's awful, which is mainly helmed by Leslie Headland. Good job. Who is using her experiences as a genderqueer woman, lesbian, to write for the show, apparently, is what I'm reading right here. Good for her.
Well, you want to know something that's fucked up is that when in the first couple episodes, you're introduced to, I guess, the Acolyte, who is this actress. I don't know. There's two of them because then you find out they're twins. But anyway, they got to be 20. So you're introduced to her. You're introduced to Carrie Ann Moss. So you meet some Jedi along the way. And it's been written about everywhere. There's no white people in this show at all. If they are, they're a girl, or they're, an actress dressed up to be an alien. So anyway, somebody wrote and they were like, you could have put Yoda here because Yoda would have been on the Jedi Council and he would have been alive and that would have made sense.
I think it's going to be like a last ditch effort, dude, they'll probably do like episode 8, like, I like this.
Oh, yeah, maybe at the end, he's like the hang. So, yeah. but the Yoda figure that they put in here is some green alien chick who's like a terrible actress.
Yeah.
And then when you deep dive and you go onto the internet, what you find out is that it's the director's wife.
Wait, like, Leslie Headland's. It's Leslie Headland's director is one of the major characters.
The green alien chick Jedi
is
the wife of somebody associated with the show.
Well, let's
go ahead. Is somebody associated with the show? Like nepotism out the ass. Henderson. So you don't get Yoda, you get somebody's wife who's a terrible actress, and it's a stupid alien. It doesn't even look like an alien. It's just green makeup. You've never seen him before. You're like, I don't know who this is. And so in the first 15 minutes of this show that's been plugged relentlessly as this TVMA murder mystery, different than everything else. What you get is low production value, shitty acting, your most prominent actress knocked off within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's her wife. What the fuck?
And so all the hope that one might have for this show going into it, not knowing that much about it, which I didn't know about it. It's like I tried to stay away from it. I tried not to ruin it. I'm trying to do the same thing with Deadpool and Wolverine. Is ruined within 15 minutes because you're like, holy shit.
Bernesta Rowe. Oh my God, dude. What the I mean, okay, great. A lot of directors will do that. I know, what's his face? Who's that one who did Guardians of the Galaxy that we like?
Who, James Gunn?
James Gunn. He puts his brother or his wife as minor parts in a bunch of shit.
And
man,
yeah, it's unbelievable, right? So
his brother can also act is the difference, and his wife's bit parts. She's not a main character. Is she getting actual billing for this? I have to look this all up now. Holy shit!
You know what's really funny is that as I'm talking and I'm thinking about this,
she's billed as a star, dude.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes of this show.
That gets you paid a lot more if you're billed this way. What the fuck? She is higher billing than Carrie Ann Moss? Dude, fuck?
It's crazy, dude. And, I'm thinking about this. I'm talking about this. This is why you probably should do show prep, right? And I didn't tonight. Really do it. But
they didn't do writing prep. They wrote their first draft. They said, "Fuck it, let's shoot it."
But the first 15 minutes of this show honestly tells you how shitty it's going to be going forward. Like, you don't have to go.
They don't know what it's going to be. They don't know if it's going to be a murder mystery or they're just trying to call back to the original where there's twins. But then, then they're also trying to have the evil twin trope that's in fucking everything. I feel like every edgy teenager that tried to make up a story always had an edgy teen bullshit thing going on.
So here we go. I've queued this up, and let's see if I can get this to play here. And this is going to be, which one's the bad one, May or OSHA? May?
I think May.
May's the bad one. This is the bad twin.
They look the same.
Who comes into the bar, right? Let's see if I can pick that up.
May's the bad one.
So just so that you could see, we obviously don't have a video element, but
Master Indora. Yes, my child.
We have unfinished business.
What?
Oh, her pronoun. I think she does this at a bar.
Kung Fu stance.
Mm.
It says attack me, and then there's a bird.
I appreciate your courage, young warrior.
What?
I have no quarrel with you.
Quarrel.
Jedi do not attack the unarmed.
Yes, you do.
Dude.
Oh, there's a mystery.
But then...
And so on and so forth. And then it just goes into the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Really, I was going to say, then it's just really bad fucking just choreographed fights.
Attack me with all of your might. What? What are you talking about? What is this?
So, from my understanding, episode 2, from the clips I've seen, dude, and just the synopsis I've read and stuff, the whole concept that looked like they were going into the show with was there's two twins separated essentially at some point in the past. One's a good one, one's the bad twin. And at first it seems like what they're going for is the bad twin was at some point wronged by this group of Jedi in some horrible way. Like they really crossed her. They really fucked with her life. And now she's on a revenge mission. So
that's what they sold it as.
That's what they sell you on. Is like, oh, in the second episode, there's this one Jedi who basically willingly drinks poison she gives to him, and he's like, could you ever forgive me for ruining your life? And then he drinks the poison.
And he's like, I've been waiting for you to get here. I've been waiting for you to return. Like, okay,
he's so
well, why?
Heart about what happened to him. And then the third episode shows you what happened. They don't wait till episode 7 to do this flashback.
Or maybe they didn't. Maybe it's a mystery. Oh, no. Did I lose you?
No,
you're
I'm
still
right.
there. All right, good.
I was on my phone connecting in. God help me. But dude, they don't even wait, dude. Episode 3 is
which is the one that everybody's up in arms about, and we will go into why.
Which is I guess we'll just jump into now because who cares what the first do? Because there's some other mystery. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's nothing. The bad sister kills Carrie-Anne Moss. The good sister gets picked up by the Jedis that the Squid Game Jedi who used to train her.
Yeah.
And now they're on this mystery to go find the other sister.
Yeah, and essentially what it turns out happened was their backstories, they were part of some Amazon witch tribe, which immaculately conceived with each other. What fucking Anakin did. You know how that made Anakin special? Was that
I think that you kind of jumped over a couple of big anger issues
I did,
that the fan base has.
That's the one that annoys me. But anyway, there's some witches, and this is just to really quickly get through this episode because the whole thing just boils into this basically. They want to become, the good sister wants to be a Jedi. The bad sister doesn't want to be a Jedi because some cultural thing. And then the good sister basically says, no, I can do the Force. Let me be a Jedi. And then the bad sister's response is she kills her entire village with fire. She kills them. Not the Jedi. The Jedi don't fucking go in and just stab everybody. She lights a fire, burns down what? It wasn't a forest. What was that village?
I don't know, and I can't understand why.
She lit a book on fire and a brick house lit up somehow, which I don't understand.
Whole thing blew up. She lit up a book, and then all of a sudden, all of the all the electronics and the power in this. I don't know what it was, like cave dwelling.
Dude, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. I'm not an expert on lighting things on fire. But, like, I'm pretty sure that's not how... I'm like, unless those bricks were just made of the most flammable straw of all time.
Well, I have read that people think that might be part of the conspiracy.
The mystery?
Yes.
Okay, so it was like, maybe it wasn't her, maybe the Jedi...
Maybe it was the Jedi that did it, yes.
Okay, well, I mean...
But again, who cares? Because
I feel like I'm giving them too much credit for that, though, dude, because she has proven herself to be a real crock of shit so far.
But
we'll
even if you tried to back into that, right? So the Jedi would have went there and corrupted her mind or gave her the thing to blow up, and like why would the Jedi try to blow them up? Like the Jedi could have just taken the kids with lightsabers aggressively. They did not.
What are people most upset about? Because I thought the fucking, and I'm just going to say, like, the Immaculate Conception shit, dude. Like, they have two lesbian moms, and it's just, like, it's implied that, like, the one mom used the Force to incept the other mom or something.
Yeah, so let's go back.
Like,
because
not to get into this fucking issue, but, like, what level of delusion are they living in?
Yeah,
that's insane.
So Will and I this is me. The thoughts thoughts expressed here on this program do not necessarily reflect Will. They
Don't
definitely
cancel. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah,
they definitely reflect me when I'm about to say here. So. But we go back and forth, and my point to a lot of content that I see now is the same as everything that you see on the news and TV and what you see in social media, and that is, at least to me, and this is just my opinion, is that the people that are making content at this point are now corporate. I mean, they're basically corporate America that is creating this content. Disney has bought up, some of the biggest IPs that ever existed, plus they own the other ones. The ones that are remaining are split up. Sony has some IP, this company has some IP, et cetera, et cetera. But Disney is the primary company where I watch everything that they do, and I'm just like, this is an agenda. And to me, the way that I see it as just liberal ideologies pumped through the IP that they choose at any given time. So, it just is constant, right? So we got girl power. We have LGBTQ plus power. We have, minority power, whatever minority that you want to put in there. And that's all it is, right? Like, I don't want to say it's anti-white, but like white males, are not meant to be a part of this world right now, unless they already existed, right?
This is where I slightly, because we were talking about this on text, dude, and like, I agree with you for the most part, but because I definitely think there's like some agenda-y thing that they're like pushing through.
There's big agenda in my opinion.
Disagree is that and maybe not disagree, but it's just like what I just don't understand is part of me thinks a lot of this is just like, hey, maybe this agenda stuff's selling, or like this gets it trending online, and that's why they're okay to push this. But like the moment you start losing money, then you're like, whoa, hold the brakes. We're losing a shit ton of cash. Let's stop and rethink things. But apparently,
completely understood, because that is the way that it should work.
That's right. What I'm thinking. But I also think, because this has been happening for flipping years, and I know you can't just change. Like, these shows take years to make. Granted, like you can't just make a season of Andor in like 2 months. It takes you got to get the actors together. You got everyone's schedules together. You got to get the sets together and the writing finished and all that other bull. Like, takes 3 years sometimes. But still, dude, they have been doing this shit for fucking years in a row.
2016, man.
Loss after loss after loss.
It's been 8 years.
But have they even really made money on a Star Wars project? Like, they stopped making movies after Solo, dude.
Well, they bought it for $4 billion. Right.
Yes.
And the first movie made $1 billion, did it not, or maybe more than $1 billion?
Well, so like it, and I guess it makes more money from other things. Like, so the movie itself, when it's out in theaters, I think in theaters it made $1 billion, and that's what they're counting. Like, who knows what it made from streaming or just DVD sale? Even though that's not a thing anymore. But like,
no, not anymore. No.
Yeah, not anymore. No one gives a fuck anymore about that. But like, like that must have turned a pretty profit, even though it was like literally, it was it's Jar Jar Abrams, just the safest shit you could possibly have made for that first movie.
It made $2 billion worldwide.
I mean, not bad.
I mean, they paid half of their initial investment on the return of the first product they shot out. Now, Solo lost money, but The Last Jedi, I think, made money.
People were desperate for like real Star Wars content too when that first one came out, and like I think they re-released it or something at some point. But like, it's just.
Well, I think that they have made their money back, right? Like, I think it's probably Last Jedi did $1.3 billion. So, out of the gate, they bought it for $4 billion. I don't know the production costs of either of those, but between the first two movies, you made back basically $3.3 billion. So factor the $4 billion plus whatever production cost is, which is probably like, 200 to 300 million per movie, and you're almost at break even. Now, I would imagine that over time. Now, they did lose out on things like that Star Cruiser Hotel, and I don't know how.
There's like a 4-hour video. I think we mentioned that before. But there's a 4-hour video on YouTube I need to finish watching about that because it is fascinating.
Yeah, so they've definitely taken their lumps, but I think for the most part, Star Wars has paid itself off. Now, has it been the money generator that they thought it was going to be? Like, I don't know. I think
probably not.
That would be down the road, right? So,
they'd still be pumping out movies if it was.
They'd still be pumping out movies if it was. So, my point, my rebuttal to this was like, I don't think it matters. I don't think the dollars matter right now for Disney because they are on a mission to pump their agenda, which has been well documented. I don't listen to me, listen to every other conspiracy theorist. But like, if you watch the goddamn content, you know what you're getting. Like, you just have to watch it to understand. And I don't think that the dollars are as important right now as the message. And their message is diversity.
Unsubtle.
It is acceptance. It is, power for the underprivileged. Like, that's what it
people,
is.
Like,
right?
watching it though, because like you see the numbers coming out for like how many people are watching these shows, and like, yeah, there's plenty of people hate watching it, but there's YouTube videos, dude, that are making better fucking viewership than the Acolyte.
For sure. I mean, for sure. But what matters to them is getting out this message, and they put it out in all of their content. I mean, all you got to do, any Disney property, it doesn't matter. It could be Marvel, it could be their animation. I mean, this went to Lightyear. This went to I forgot what was the terrible damn it, there was just an animated movie that just came out. An animated movie that just came out that was like a complete whiff. And then there was another one that came out.
Wish was a
bomber-o.
It wasn't Wish. It was a whiff.
And then there was another one that came out that they said something that featured like gay characters in the animation, and then they were like, this sucks. Yeah.
Oh, that stupid movie, like Strange World or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
I watched that one to see how bad. I was like, how bad? And it was like the legitimately most milquetoast thing I've ever seen. Like, it was so boring.
I didn't see it, have no desire to see it either. I just remember the stories where they're like, there's gay people all over this,
Yeah, but like,
and hardcore right-wing people like lost their mind because they're like, I took my kids to go see this, and there was girls kissing.
I walked them out of the theater.
Whatever.
Oh my god, it's just no.
It's just the point that is the primary content piece, right? Like that's the focal point of all the content.
But is it like but like my thought is, like, I remember the Disney 90 movies so fondly for the most part, and like I will, like, when I get kids, I'm gonna make sure they watch that shit. I'm not gonna put the Acolyte on for my children. Like, I'm not gonna be like, you're gonna love this.
So I was watching the Acolyte, and my 13-year-old son joined me, and I was just like, yeah, it's not that good. And his words were just like, this sucks. Now, he has no, jaded. He has no jaded eyeglasses on because he is not exposed to what used to be. He's 13 years old.
That gave me so much hope, dude.
I mean, he was just like, it sucks. Right? He's not me, where it's like, oh yeah, well, I grew up in a different time, and I remember everything differently, and like,
who's the show for then? Like, that's,
Okay, so let's steer this back.
I'm getting lost in the weeds, maybe, dude, because like the show is just like,
but I think
it's bad. I think you can safely say like you tell people when there's a good show out there, like you want it to have some mass appeal. But then Kathleen Kennedy literally came out and it's like, I don't think these Star Wars show need mass appeal. And you're like, well, clearly they kind of do.
If you want to make money, they do. And if you're going to spend $180 million, they do. You know,
when everyone's looking at the prequels, which prequels were not great, but when the prequels are looking like genuine like I'm remembering the prequels so fondly now, dude, compared to this new shit they're pumping out. And like,
I still hate the prequels, but I like it more than this.
That's my point. But like, I mean, I was younger when the prequels came out, so I had like a little more rose-tinted glasses granted for them.
Yeah.
But like, I'm never gonna. There was at least like that genuine kind of pizzazz that the original Star Wars had, that life and like bit of campiness.
Yeah, after you got through the Phantom Menace, it was a little bit like and Phantom Menace was a tough sandwich to eat.
Darth Maul was still cool. Darth Maul, I remember that was the only scene I remember from Phantom Menace as a little kid was Darth Maul killing the guy. And I was like, oh, yeah, that was little 7-year-old Will or whatever.
Darth Maul would have been a great way to go for the sequels.
I'm so glad they never brought him back. And he never like ignited his lightsaber on screen to like let you know who he was. I'm glad no characters do that to like immediately let you know, hey, I'm a Sith and I'm a bad guy. I'm glad that didn't happen in this show either.
It didn't. No, it didn't happen in the very last scene of the first episode. So, but just going back, like, so the point of this show, I think, is in the third episode. And I think that's where I'm talking about, like, this agenda just coming through. Because it's like, oh, what is this show? You're going to find out. Episode 3, it's just going to be a fucking car crash. You're not going to be able to stop watching it. They, like you said, they go to a planet. There's 2 moms. They're obviously lesbian. They're a lesbian couple.
Dude,
they conceive
the immaculate conception.
I mean,
is like, dude, that is literally like a lesbian fairy tale. Like that, I heard that, and I just like the eye roll, dude, of just like, have you seen? There's some lesbians I know that are very, what's the word? Disgruntled. Maybe that's a good one. I was unhinged. I think is better. But like,
I think that it's probably a stereotype, but I think it probably applies.
Okay. The ones I'm not saying all lesbians, though the lesbians I do know are unhinged.
There's a tinge of it. There's a tinge of it.
There's a few I'm specifically talking about that are just fucking nuts out.
Right. Like there's a couple of screws that are kind of loose.
It's more than a couple.
The door's shaking on the hinges a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
which also applies to like 75% of America right now, but I know what you're talking about because I've seen it too. Yes.
But they're like, it's like a gender thing for them. It's like, have you ever noticed that like gay men and lesbians kind of hate each other?
I haven't seen the interaction outside of social media, but yes, I mean I've seen it on social media.
My interactions in New York, from what I've seen, I got like 1 or 2 gay friends, but like, dude. There's just something, and like, you know, gay guys will be friends with women, but no lesbians friends with a guy. I'm just saying, there's just something. Maybe I'm going too deep in the weeds here. This is Will's flat Earth theory.
Yeah, no, flat Earth theory. Oh no, I got plenty of flat Earth theories. Don't even. I was gonna say, like girls can't be in groups bigger than 3, and usually 3 ends up being a problem too because one is always cast away. You know,
never send a text after 2 a.m. Completely agree with you. Yeah, don't do anything.
I wish I was around during those days, but I never. Unfortunately, the days that I was trying to run through women, I never had the phone with the text.
There's just something about this show where it's like there is a. And I hate this word because it's so overused, but I do think it's true in this show. Like I think Leslie Headland genuinely hates the Y chromosome.
Yeah, for sure, dude. This whole show hates men.
Like except for a Squid Game guy, who comes across.
Yeah, but again,
he
checks a box, right? So we've got an Asian Jedi. We haven't had one of those before. Now we do.
Yeah, which is just like okay, but like. Every dude in this show is just like either and by the way, so there's another like Sith character with a fucking helmet on or something like that.
Who looks like he's got a zipper around his mouth. Which,
by the way, can we put bets right now about that being a woman?
Oh no, I read it. No, I read another story that I believe a lot more.
What's the theory?
So in the second episode of this show, which is in the current time of the show, that is, because this is obviously 300 years before New Hope or whatever it is. So anyway, but the present time of the thing, the bad twin, who I think is Osha, I think May's
the bad one.
May's the bad one. So May's the bad one. So May's going around and she's trying to kill Jedis, and she's got some kind of point person who kind of works gives her all the goods and gives her weaponry. And
the Q to her James Bond.
Yes, right. Good analogy. So it is the acolyte Q. So she meets up with Q, and Q gives her this, Q gives her that. And at one point, there's Jedi, and Q kind of takes control of May and puts her up against the wall, and he's fast for her, and people are just like, dude, he's just a regular dude, and yet he just jumped around some force wielding, bad girl who could be a Sith. He's the head. He's the Sith guy, and he's manipulating her, in the trenches. So that was the one thing that I read, is that he's the actual one. So he's just giving her all the stuff, and he's like the puppet master, which goes to be Palpatine and all the other guy. It's like every fucking story you've already seen in Star Wars. So there's nothing new there. But it's a Sith. There can only be two.
Except this time there's going to be Well, not the Sith. It's the Jedi are bad cops. Essentially, they're basically bad cops. Everything, they stand down. Just
right. Well, again, you want to go to agenda. Authority is bad, right? Dude. Current authority is bad. Cops are bad. Cops are not. Cops are dirty, and they're not really abiding by the laws. They try to,
But there's no subtlety with it at all, to
no.
a baffling degree.
And that's my point. That's why I say that right now, the money doesn't matter, the message matters, and I think that it's proven every single thing that fucking that Disney does. So, and it's really apparent here. The whole girl power thing with the goddamn fucking witches, and they're doing So we were talking about the beginning of the show. The beginning of the show, they established there's two girls. It's a lesbian couple. They conceive with the Force. They have two kids.
Yeah, she's pretty. Harvey Weinstein's pretty. I'm reading her backstory right now. She was a fucking. Oh my God, she's just.
And then people, diehard Star Wars, and I used to think I was a diehard. I am not compared to the other people that have opinions on this. But they're like, oh, the witches adore me. Those were better witches. These witches are so fucking stupid, and dancing around and doing this fucking thing.
Yeah, the witch tribe that they're a part of or some weird shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, because we don't know any history about this. Again, another problem that I have with current Star Wars is their inability to world build, right? It's just an assumption that they're going to throw it out there, and because they've thrown it out there, you're going to like it and accept it. When, sure, I don't remember back in the day, but fucking the original trilogy was easy to digest, right?
Yeah.
It was just easy.
It's a story that's been made a million times, and it will be made a million more times because it fucking works. It's the classic hero's journey. It's the same structure they used for Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. All the best-selling things of all time all revolve around that kind of basic structure.
Right, and but one planet, who the good guys were, you knew who the bad guys were. The journey was told to you, even though it wasn't told to you. In this one,
dude. Okay, here's my thoughts on the show. I think is. All these shows are based on the hero's journey, but this isn't based on that original story beats. It's based on the original Star Wars. It's basically a Xerox of a Xerox. Does that make sense?
Yes,
it just
completely.
loses more of itself over time the more it's copied, and she's just copying
ditto paper. I'll date myself.
And it's not even themes from other format. It's not she's taking a little bit from this other thing or this other different franchises to expand the Star Wars universe. She's taking pre-existing things in Star Wars and be no, this is mine now. I made this up.
Yeah.
And it's no, Dave Filoni actually, even though he's kind of weird now, he made that up 10 years ago and it was kind of a cool concept. And they're no, I made that and it's mine now. And they're okay, well, it's kind of weird. And this Immaculate Conception in this witch tribe, I made that. Well, okay, that was George Lucas about Anakin's back. No,
Right.
I made this. I did this.
And even
Twins.
people, because Dune 2, which came out, and I finally finished that. But people, people rip on George Lucas because they're like, yeah, he just took Dune and, like, basically ripped off Dune.
Kind of. Yeah, but like...
it was original, but, like, he took concepts that existed in the 60s and then just applied it to this. To Star Wars, right? So, but I just think that from the get-go, they have just made it apparent what they want to do, and they just want to tell their stories that have agendas underneath them and fit them into worlds that already exist. And you're either going to like what they're giving you, and you're going to go along for the ride, or the door's right there. Don't let it hit you on the way out.
The show is equal parts different Star Wars trilogies and the vagina monologues. It's basically what it is.
And problem is that you can put out whatever the fuck you want if you're Disney, right?
You can make good shit with those messages, but like they're clearly going for message first and then the fucking story around it.
And this is a reoccurring theme in our podcast is that you've said it, I've agreed, we've said it over and over again, is that you can, if you tell a good story, right?
Yeah.
You can put whatever the fuck you want in that story. And people will fucking watch it and they won't give a shit. Did you ever watch The Wire?
No, I've only watched a little bit of it, but I would never say I watched the whole thing.
It probably is my favorite, one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Mm-hmm. And all 5 seasons were not great. Were there 5 or 6? I can't even remember anymore. 3 was that? I think there was 5. Anyway, not all the seasons were great, but on a whole, it was fucking great, right? And their lead bad guy, right? The lead bad guy was I wanted Michael K. Williams, who ended up passing away from I think an overdose that might have been fentanyl, might not have. Big scar on his face. He was the lead bad guy. He was Omar. And when Omar came out and kissed his boyfriend, and you were like, dude, this guy's fucking gay, it like shook the audience. Because it was like, black dude, gangster, gay? Like, it just had not been done before. And you know what? As soon as it happened and you got over it and you were just like, wow, didn't see that coming. Fucking badass. Never really thought of that. But it was like, now in the time, maybe people talked about it a little bit, but it was like there and gone. And then the rest of his existence on the show, it was just like, yeah, Omar's gay. Did you know that? You didn't know that? Like, nobody talked about it. It was done.
Who gives a fuck? Yeah, it's just a part of his person. It's not his personality. It's just a part of who he is. It's just like, it's not the whole picture.
It's not the whole picture.
It's a piece of it.
One of the detectives on the squad, I want to say her name was Kima. I think it was. Anyway, she also lesbian, had a girlfriend, the whole 9 yards. Part of the show, never thought a second thing about it. You watched it and you were like, okay, I'm doing their relationship. I'm digesting it. They got issues, and it was like I don't care that they're gay, right? Because like the story is there and I'm following the story. Here, I'm just kind of like, man, they're gay too. Like, because the story hasn't taken me away from the fact that they're just bludgeoning me on the head with every possible
which is what this
liberal
show does.
Story.
But like, there's so many ways to like implement this in the like. Okay, and I'm just gonna like 2 shows that have female protagonists that are awesome are Arcane and Blue Eyed Samurai that are both on Netflix.
I haven't seen either of them.
They're amazing. They're both like animated, but they're like adult animations. Like people get fucked up and there's like a lot of blood and stuff like that.
No, hold on. Side note, my youngest, has gotten into Last Airbender. So I'm eventually going to have to shoulder tap you and give me like the best Airbender content for him to watch. Because I think he's doing the new shows right now, but he's like all into it.
Just stick with the original series.
It's the original series, right? Is it on Netflix?
The Last Airbender's on Netflix. Don't watch the live action. Do not watch the live action.
No, he's not doing the live action. He's doing.
Don't watch this.
He's doing TV show. He's doing the cartoons, but aren't there multiple cartoons?
There's the next one's Legend of Korra, and the creators get she's basically a girl boss, Cora. I mean, she just gets annoying. They get progressively more woke as the show goes on. Like, there's some cool stuff in it, but like the creators are getting start sniffing their own farts and think they're better than they are.
Okay.
And it's just like, you had a great idea for the first one, and the second one, it is where like the beginning of the end for girl boss bullshit started coming out. Cora's okay. Cora was okay, but it's nowhere near as good as The Last Airbender.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, now back to our show.
Regardless. Yeah, back to the show. Back to our regularly scheduled program. What was I fucking talking about? Yeah, but
you were talking about the
Samurai, Arcane.
Yes.
These are two of the shows on Netflix. They have female protagonists, and like the whole time, like they're kicking ass the whole time in the show. But you know what they also are? They're also well written fucking characters that you don't give a fuck. Like, it's implied the one character is like a lesbian in Arcane, but like you don't give a fuck. They just have like a quick like one part of a scene where it's like, oh, okay, this is probably her deal, and then the show moves on because there's other things going on in the plot that the main character is focused on. So there's so much going on there. You're like, okay, whatever, that's cool.
Well, I mean, if you think about things that we've talked about and like the lucrosity of some of it, right? Like the whole Velma series, which we didn't even, I haven't even watched past like episode 3. So we got to pick that up at some point.
I saw it happen at the end. I fast forwarded. It was.
Oh, don't tell me. I want to watch it because I want to enjoy watching it.
I'm just gonna say, if it ends, like if they don't get a season 3, dude, that's the funniest ending of all time.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
But Velma for one, right? Indiana Jones for another. Where else have we got? Like the Star Wars shows that we've talked about.
It's so prevalent.
Marvel, kind of. Marvel,
yeah. The Marvels, literally the Marvels.
The Marvels, Ironheart instead of Iron Man, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we have talked about it endlessly because it is everywhere, especially with the Disney programming. It doesn't exist as much elsewhere, but Disney wholeheartedly is fully committed to shoving this down your throat. And again, I think the biggest issue is that the content itself sucks. So you can't help but then point to all the things they're trying to push rather than the story. If the story was good, you wouldn't care about the rest of the shit. But it's not. It's terrible. I'm just reading about it. Just look at the
what
girl
Wakanda
actresses. The acting by the girls are terrible. Both the young ones and then the
young
old
ones was horrible. The young ones was quite literally. It was like the producer was their uncle or aunt, and they were just like, "Let's throw Emily a bone. She's always wanted to be an actress. Like, does she know what Star Wars is? No, but she'll learn." They're saying the most like, "But you do." No, you do. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault.
And they're fighting in the one scene when the mother is getting ready to think, and they're like, "Oh, shut up! No, you shut up! No, you shut up!" And it was
it's like, do you have children? Like, have you been? Were you ever a child in your life? Like, come on.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Princess Leia actress who was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh my God, like you didn't learn from this? Like you already did this with Obi-Wan Kenobi. You guys got torn a new asshole because fucking the Leia actress was terrible. Not her fault. She's fucking like, 7 or 8.
5. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like it's just, I just don't get it. Like, I think that's what it is for me. It's like, how have they not learned from, when did Obi-Wan come out? Was that a year ago? Was it 2 years ago?
I think it was a year and change ago. Yeah.
So
But again, oh my God, that show itself, right? The fucking Inquisitors. They made the one Inquisitor like a black Jedi or black Inquisitor or whatever, and no fault to her own. She was a terrible actress.
Yeah, that show was just so much fluff around like a couple good Darth Vader scenes.
And everybody talked about her when it was just like, dude, yeah, she is black, and I get it, but like, black people do fucking exist in the universe.
Yeah, I was going to say, people got way too focused on it.
You're pissed because she's a terrible actress. So you're watching it and you're like, oh, Christ, she sucks.
Yeah, I think it's just, this should have been, it's like, it's most of these dudes. Like, you can make a good Star Wars show. Look at Andor and Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2. But so much of this dude literally is just like something that was like trending on some forum for Star Wars 20 years ago. They're like, let's make a show out of that with Boba Fett. Let's do that. And you're like, that's a great idea. And then you see it implemented and you're like, no, we wanted Mandalorian, but you already made the show. this isn't what we wanted at all. You just ruined one of the fan favorite characters of Star Wars.
Dude,
and they can't learn. I don't know how they're not learning at all.
everybody always asks, it's a popular content question. And so, like, what are we doing here? Or better yet, like, who asked for this? The show that nobody asked for, right? Like, so, and I think that they both apply here. Like, what are we doing here? I have no clue.
Let me just ask you a question. What would you say you do here? You do here.
Well, I take the blueprints from the.
I have people skills. I make the Star Wars shows because I have people skills. I tell them to make the characters women and gay. Put a chicken in
Office Space for
gay.
those that don't know. Fantastic. Will always be great. Mike Judge.
Like Kathleen Kennedy. So apparently she's good friends with like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. And like the other part I saw
didn't know
was
she was a
because
producer on E.T.
Yeah, she was like apparently she's been like with the both of them for years, and like there's like some interview where Spielberg's just like, yeah, we were in a like thing, and she does have a habit of like interjecting her ideas in meetings when she's supposed to be taking notes, and are just like that makes sense. Now she's the one in charge. She's like, yeah, I'm the boss lady, and now she's just refusing to let go of power. She's basically Emperor Nero, is what I'm saying.
Who's Emperor Nero?
He's the one who burned down Rome because he was insane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now you're going to history. I forgot a lot about history.
No, you're good. But the Roman emperors are, basically every Game of Thrones emperor, they're like, oh, emperors are either, really smart or really insane and evil. That's where that came from, because basically every Roman emperor was either like a really good guy or like the most insane motherfucker of all time. And Nero, let's say he was the best at what he did, and what he did was not being one of the best emperors of Rome.
So this is like, it's just kind of playing out like American politics in 2024?
I was going to say, yeah. Basically, well, that one's a little sadder, I think, because at least this one has both of our marbles and isn't a potentially convicted felon.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's giant douche or turd sandwich.
Yeah, just this one. This is going to be a special one. It is fun, though, hearing about the 2024 election, and people are just so... I mean, this is completely taking it off the rails here, but I've never heard people so universally upset with their choices.
I mean, how could you not be?
Yeah, like it is. Like,
how could you not be?
I know people that despise Trump, like, rightfully so, but like, they look at their other option. They're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It's completely taken off the rails there.
So I have not voted for Trump over the past two. Like,
neither have I. Yeah.
I can't do it. I wanted to, and we might have covered this in podcast, and I won't. But after watching him in the Republican debates, you're just like, this guy has no fucking plan. He's got no plan. He's up there because he's just like, this is to him a popularity contest, and this is like real life Apprentice. And so
honestly, I think you're right. And
he got married to it.
Everyone that thinks that he's like a way more complicated individual than he is, it's like, no, he's not. He's literally that high school bully that you thought, like, everyone like hopes their high school bully is like, he's going to learn when he's like, hey, I'm really sorry that I bullied you in high school. No, what happens is this high school bully comes back, you're 45, and he's like, oh, what are you doing over there, Donald?
I have to play this because this was one of the greatest clips that has occurred in recent history. And so basically with Trump, I can't bring myself to vote for him. And I have in the past two elections, because it's just, he's just so bad. He's just not a bad person, although everybody says that he is a bad person too, so maybe he is. But like, he's devoid of content, right? We talk about a show about content all the time. He's got none. Like, he's got nothing to offer. So he just gets up there and does shit. On the flip side, then you've got, entire army of liberal-minded Democrats who are just trying to throw these agendas down your throat. And it's like, I don't want that guy either, especially since the guy that you'd vote for there, like, is just he's the biggest sock puppet I've ever seen in my life. And then, like, he's the president. Like, I mean, I don't know if he's ever been the president from the day he got inaugurated. He's just been a mouthpiece for, he is the party.
Dude, the way I keep thinking about him, and we'll get right back to Star Wars, I swear. But when people get older, there's like a thing about dementia. There's like some saying I heard where your true personality. Like, you don't change, just you become more of who you were.
Right.
And like when you have dementia, like it shaves off all the extra shit till just your core is left. So my grandma had dementia. She basically, she was just a sweet old lady, couldn't remember a thing, but was very nice. And there was this other lady in the, dementia ward with her named Ruth, who tried to run my dad over in a walker. Like she was like, so she was
She's
like
brutal.
She's bumping into him, and my dad's
She's
like,
like
oh, sorry about
Omar.
that.
She's like Omar in the old person home.
She's running into my dad with a walker. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Steps out of the way. And then she's running into him again. He's like, what's going on here? And then one of the nurses comes up like, oh, sorry, that's Ruth. She doesn't like other people having visitors, and she's just very crabby. And then my grandma apparently...
If she started whistling Farmer in the Dell, then
my grandma's just like,
run.
oh, that's Ruth. She's very mean. So Ruth was clearly just the ultimate Karen her entire life. And now is nothing but just this bitter old, depressing life that she was a mean person. What I'm saying is, the guy who's 87 years old or whatever, who is challenging reporters to fights when they ask about like how much sleep he got last night, maybe he shouldn't be president.
Right.
Just the thought.
Or he said that people that are being unhappy right now, and I don't know, he said something about people that are calling to arms. Then he said that they're not going to need rifles, they're going to need F-15s. Like, oh, okay. I mean, it's a little alarming that you just said that, we'll just bomb the shit out of you.
I was going to say, I think the Second Amendment is kind of stupid, but because, it was made for back in the day. But when you say shit like that, you give all those people that have that as a bumper sticker, I'm completely on their side now.
Right.
Like, good job.
It's a little nutso, right? But what's more even nutso is that this is the other candidate, right? And so this guy should quit, and he should just do stand-up for the rest of his life. Because as a stand-up comedian, I mean, he's like doing dice in 2024, and he's pulling it off. He would kill. Here we go. This is the great former, the great. I shouldn't say the great. I mean the great as in like, oh fuck it. It's former President Trump.
Yeah.
Here he is.
These are not stupid people. I call him Watermelon Head. He's got the thinnest neck I've ever seen. How it holds up that head. He's got a neck that's about a size 6. Very unattractive guy, both inside and outside. And people say, oh, that's such a terrible thing to say. It's okay. Very unattractive guy.
It's okay.
He's a bad people.
Dude, he should be doing Netflix
fucking
roasts.
Watermelon Head.
He should be doing Netflix roasts.
He's got like a size 6 neck. And people are saying, this is bad. You can't see. It's okay.
Yeah, everyone loves it. I don't care who the fuck you are. You can be the most avid CNN, NBC watcher of them all, and you fucking live for this shit. Everyone loves it.
And I don't know the first half. I don't know what happened before that.
Yes, but here we are.
But he just goes like, these are very bad people. I call him Watermelon Head. Like, hold on. What are you talking about? Like these are bad people, and then you're pointing to Schiff, and you're saying, yeah, but Adam Schiff I call Watermelon Head. Like, how is that related? I have no clue at all. Like, it was just, it's not even stream of consciousness. It's just like, hey, I got a joke, and I want to drop it. So, anyway, but I don't know. This was getting into, we got into presidents and elections because of something content related, and I can't remember what.
Yeah.
Options, maybe? Well, anyway, there was something that I wanted to drive home, and that was like just the state of everything now, what's funny to me. And this was something tangible to what we were talking about before we went down that fucking stupid political rant. But South Park, over their 30-year history, has been so right about so many things. It's really fucking scary. Like, I wonder if Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and we're running a little long here, I know, but like, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, like, I wonder if they're from the fucking future, and they're just fucking with all of us. Like,
dude, they do have, like, it's like a doctor's ability to just, like, they'll grab, like, a patient's hand and be like, you're gonna have a heart attack in the next 6 months. It's like that, but for society and culture. Like, they check the pulse. In probably 2 weeks, made an entire episode about Kathleen Kennedy making a chick and making a woman and make her gay.
Put more women in it and make it more gay.
Yeah, but it's about a deer. It's a live action Bambi movie. It's about a deer. I said, put a chick in it and make her gay.
And again, it's been a hit every time. They retired doing Trump. And when asked why, they said because we can't make it funnier than it already is. Like,
God bless him,
dude, so ahead of the curve because SNL for the past 8 years has only done Trump. And
it was funny at first, but it's just like this Star Wars stuff, dude, or Marvel. Like they just play it until everyone fucking hates it.
Yeah. And meanwhile, South Park's like, yeah, we told you it was going to be stupid because you can't make it funnier than he already is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, the impressionist changed. It originally was Baldwin. When Baldwin first came on, it was funny.
It was
then he
great
was
when
old.
he first did it. And then he was there
and
like
then the new guy
every
came on, and the new guy did
day.
it. He was awesome to begin with. And then it was like they just did it like 20 more times, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Shane Gillis, bringing him back up again. He does a great Trump. He never does it anymore.
Never does it anymore. You know who does Trump all the time? And I see his clips, and for whatever reason, I don't get tired of his impression. Have you ever seen Tyler Fish?
Tyler Fish.
Tyler Fish? Oh, dude, yeah.
I may have heard of him.
I'll send you the Instagram, but his big thing now, something happened to him recently with comedy where he got called out or something by the left. Tyler Fish.
Oh, Tyler Fisher. Tyler Fisher?
Tyler Fisher, yeah. And so now he's big, like he kind of is like right wing. But his Trump
found his niche.
Yeah, completely found his niche. Let me see if I can fucking play one of these clips. But his Trump, I still like it.
Trump's like on house arrest in New York City. It's wild. He's doing rallies at delis. He's every morning. He's just in front of a deli. We are gonna make chopped cheese great again. Here we are at the deli. Right? He's just doing like stand up basically. Here we are at the Natural History Museum doing a pop-up rally. Look at this. 8 million people here, probably 10, 20, they say could be 30 million. We don't have the numbers yet. He never has any numbers. We'll get the numbers. Look at this. Probably 50 billion, trillion even. They said could be trillion. Could be trillion. Everybody here, Manhattan. Man, they're probably going to call it Womanhattan because men are so tired. That's what they're going to do. Womanhattan. They say the city that never sleeps, right? I saw 50 people sleeping on the ground just on my way here. What a danger. You can't have a gun. Could you believe this? You can't have a gun, but you can have your penis out, open carry on the subway. Just Eric Adams, not doing so hot, Eric Adams, but he's diverse. We love diversity here. The first retarded mayor. How about that? Pretty good.
So anyway, but he does a lot more, and he's been doing it constantly. And for whatever reason, that imitation hasn't gotten tiresome. It eventually will, but again, can't make it any more weirder than it is in real life, or any more comedic in real life. Which is, South Park retires it, everybody else goes after it, and like you said, they're the doctor holding the hand of the person telling them they're going to have a heart attack in fucking 6 months.
I don't know, dude. But yeah, Star Wars right now, just the latest. Back to that there, I guess. But
yeah. Well, we'll end it with where we started it, and that is the fact that this show is a hot mess. And outside of me, again, part of it for me is just I can't get over all of the fucking agenda, points that are just hammered home. And the reason that I can't get past that is because the story doesn't take me away from it. And it's going to be, I'll probably continue to watch because I'm a sucker for Star Wars, and I crave bad content for whatever reason. I got to start, it's probably something very psychological. I should go see a fucking therapist. But I
do the same thing.
It just, it just sucks. It sucks. And it's a shame because I just don't know how they get the fucking train back on the tracks. Where do you think it goes from here? We'll end it like that. We'll talk about it going forward.
We'll look into this next week, too, because, they got more stuff. Also, we got House of Dragons coming back this weekend. That'll be good.
Oh, yes, House of Dragons coming back. That was one of our first things that we did.
That was great. And then
Still haven't done Atlas. I watched like 15 minutes of it. It is just as bad as you need it to be.
Listen, Atlas was – I forgot I watched that. I completely forgot about that. Really quick, and we'll get into it next week. It's bad, but honestly, I think it broke my brain because it wasn't as like after just watching Madam Web and then watching Atlas, you're like, it's not that bad, but it's not. good.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not good. It's
Jennifer
not good.
Jennifer Lopez is pretty awful in the
She's
first
worst.
15 minutes.
She's the worst part of the whole movie, far and away. You're like, it could have been cool, and they just. We'll get into it later. We're gonna do it later.
All right. So for now, we'll punch out, call it a day, and call it a night. Actually, I'm gonna go watch some basketball, throw back a couple of beers, and then.
Nice.
So I got to figure out a way to do this next week. I'll call, let you know I'm going to be away in Florida for the next 2. So I'll figure out some kind of means to do it. Even if
we do it a different week or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, I might be able to do it, just without all of the accoutrements here and sound bits that we don't need. But anyway, so in the meantime, enjoy, keep watching anything. And everybody out there, including your girlfriend, thank you for listening.
Ooh,
or maybe only your girlfriend. I don't know yet.
I'm tricking friends into watching it.
There you go.
Yeah, take that, suckers. You just listen to an hour and a half. Let's talk.
There you go. Boom. Boom, shot clock. I can't hit any of my soundboard. It'll kill the outro. So, peace out. I'm out. I'm getting out of here. Stephen A. Smith has a pink fucking jacket and outfit on for the fucking basketball.
God bless him.
What are we doing here? All right. I'm out. Peace.